Good morning everyone and welcome to the class. We are doing the first chapter in civics, that is the Indian Constitution, and we have completed the chapter and now we are doing questions which are given at the end of the chapter, and we are doing question number 5. In question number 5 we have seen that in your book two columns are there. In the one column some key features of the Indian Constitution is written, and in the another column you have to write the significance of that particular feature of the Constitution. As we have done in the previous class about federalism, we have written down the benefit or the significance of the federalism which has been adopted as key feature of the Indian Constitution. And now we will see the next topic, or the next feature is separation of power. The separation of power, as we have discussed during the class, that our constitution makers has adopted this separation of power as a key feature of Indian Constitution, because when the powers are defined, when the powers of different organs of the government is defined, then there will be lesser possibility of the misuse of power by any one branch of the government. It will prevent what is the significance? We will write the significance. Okay, the significance is that it will prevent the misuse of power by any one branch of the government. Okay, and the next benefit or significance, we can say that each organ acts as a check on the other organ, and in this way it ensures balance of power between all the three organs. This is the first point, and the second is that so each organ acts as a check on the other organs. And this ensures the balance of power. Balance of power between all the three organs. Okay, and now we will see the next feature which is given in the question, that is fundamental right. And we know that fundamental rights are, as we have seen, that it is called the conscience of the Constitution, and the first benefit of fundamental right is that by mentioning these rights in the Constitution, what happens that every citizen is in a position to claim these rights, because they are mentioned in the Constitution. Our Constitution guarantee these rights, so each and every citizen can claim these rights. उनको वो उसके लिए claim कर सकते हैं कि उनको मिलना चाहिए अगर उन्हें नहीं मिल रहा है तो, है ना. They can go to the courts also. And the second thing is that these rights are binding upon every authority. So in this way, this is the significance of this fundamental right. Okay, the first significance is that each citizen can claim these rights. And the second thing is that it is binding upon every authority. It is binding upon every authority that has got the power to make laws. Okay, and now we see the next key feature of Indian Constitution. So the next feature is parliamentary form of government, and as we have seen that under this parliamentary form of government, each and every citizen has a right to vote, which is guaranteed by the Constitution, and by using this right to vote, people of India directly participate in the election of their representative, and not only this, they can also contest in the election. These are the two benefits of this parliamentary form of government. Okay, the first benefit is that the people of India have a direct role in electing their representative. And the second is that they can also contest in the elections. Now we have done question number 5, and now we see that question number 6, it's a map work. Okay, one map is given and you have to answer the question accordingly. The map is of India and it's a political map. Okay, and you have to write down the names of the Indian states which share borders with the following neighbor countries. जो इंडिया के जो नेबर कंट्रीज हैं उनके साथ कौन से देश हैं, कौन से स्टेट्स हैं इंडिया के जो कि बॉर्डर शेयर करते हैं. जैसे नेपाल है, तो नेपाल के साथ कौन कौन से इंडिया के जो स्टेट्स हैं वो बॉर्डर शेयर करते हैं. तो इसमें आप यू कैन सी इन दैट मैप को अगर आप ऑब्जर्व करेंगे तो आप इसका आंसर बिल्कुल आराम से दे सकते हैं. सो यू कैन सी उत्तराखंड, देन उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार, वेस्ट बंगाल का थोड़ा सा पार्ट ऊपर वाला जो कि दार्जिलिंग वगैरह है जहाँ पे, और उसके ऊपर सिक्किम. ये जो स्टेट्स हैं इंडिया के वो नेपाल के साथ बाउंड्री शेयर करते हैं. ये आपको बताना है कौन से इंडिया के स्टेट्स नेपाल के साथ बाउंड्री शेयर करते हैं. ऐसे ही भूटान के साथ कौन से नेबरिंग जो स्टेट्स, जो इंडिया के स्टेट्स हैं, कौन से स्टेट्स हैं जो भूटान के साथ अपना बाउंड्री शेयर करते हैं. तो इसमें so by observing the map you can see that the country Bhutan shares its boundary with the states of West Bengal and then Assam, Arunachal and a very little part of सिक्किम. ठीक है, सिक्किम का बहुत ही थोड़ा सा पार्ट जो है वो भूटान शेयर करता है एज अ बाउंड्री. सिक्किम से स्टार्ट हो रहा है सपोज, देन वेस्ट बंगाल, असम और अरुणाचल. ठीक है, एंड द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज द नेम ऑफ द इंडियन स्टेट विच शेयर इट्स बाउंड्री विद बांग्लादेश. बांग्लादेश के साथ जो कंट्रीज अपनी, जो इंडिया के जो स्टेट्स बाउंड्री शेयर करते हैं वो हैं वेस्ट बंगाल, वेस्ट बंगाल के बाद असम, असम के बाद मेघालय, देन त्रिपुरा एंड त्रिपुरा के बाद and Mizoram. So these are the Indian states which share its boundary with Bangladesh: West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. Okay, so we have done this question answers. Okay, now we will do some extra questions from within the chapter. Okay, okay, extra questions we will do. So our first question is, what is a constitution or define constitution? What do you understand by constitution? Anything like that. बस आपको constitution किसे कहते हैं, what is the definition you should know. वो किसी भी तरह से आ सकता है. What do you mean by constitution? So the answer is constitution is a written document which lays down the rules according to which the country functions. Okay, तो constitution हम इसी को कहते हैं. And now we see the next question. You copy down this answer in your notebook. Now Our next question is, why did the people of Nepal want a new constitution? Okay. Why did the people of Nepal want a new constitution? People of Nepal wanted a new constitution because the old constitution did not reflect the ideals of the country that they want Nepal to be. Okay, that is why they wanted a new constitution. I am writing down the answer. The old constitution did not reflect the ideals of the people that they wanted Nepal to be. That they wanted Nepal to be. वो जैसा चाहते थे नेपाल को होना वैसे वो नहीं था, है ना, according to the previous, not right old constitution but the previous constitution. The previous constitution did not reflect the ideals of the people that they wanted Nepal to be, and this is the reason why, therefore, people of Nepal wanted a new constitution. Okay, and now we see the next question. Now the next question is, what do you mean by inter-community domination? What do you mean by inter-community domination? Inter-community domination से आप क्या मीन करते हैं? When one community of society dominates another community, then it is called inter-community domination. Okay. अब ये जो कम्युनिटी है ये किसी भी तरह की कम्युनिटी हो सकती है, लिंग्विस्टिक कम्युनिटी या फिर रिलीजियस कम्युनिटी या जेंडर पर बेस्ड कम्युनिटी, ठीक है। तो व्हेन वन कम्युनिटी ऑफ सोसाइटी dominates another community, then it is called inter-community. Domination. For example, if Hindus dominate Muslims, then it is inter-community. If Hindus dominate Muslims, then it is inter-community domination, है ना? DOMINATION, डोमिनेशन. ठीक है. अब नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन क्या है? नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन हमारा है व्हाट यू मीन बाय इंट्रा कम्युनिटी डोमिनेशन. अभी हमने इंटर कम्युनिटी देखा, अब हम इंट्रा देखेंगे. ये आपने कर लिया. अब हम इंट्रा कम्युनिटी देखेंगे. इंट्रा कम्युनिटी में क्या होता है? मेंबर्स ऑफ वन कम्युनिटी व्हेन members of one community, okay, when members of one community dominate others, members of one community dominate other members of same community, other members of same community. It is called intra. Intra-community domination. And what is the example? The example is that when the upper caste dominates the lower caste, both of them belong to Hindu community. Okay. Upper caste Hindus dominate lower caste Hindus. ठीक है? Then it is called this intra-domination. Okay, and now we will see another question from this chapter. What do you mean by constituent assembly? Okay, or what is constituent assembly? What do you mean by constituent assembly? Answer is, it is a body of people's representative who are assigned the function of constitution making. Okay, so this is about the Constituent Assembly. Okay, and now we see the some other questions. The next question is what was the situation of the country, or what were the problems the country was facing at the time of constitution making. ठीक है, what are the problems, what were the problems what were the problems the country was facing at the time of कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन मेकिंग. क्या प्रॉब्लम्स फेस कर रहे थे कंट्री, क्या फेस कर रही थी प्रॉब्लम्स को जब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बन रहा था. ठीक है, सो द फर्स्ट इज द वायलेंस एंड राइट्स, है ना, विच वाज हैपनिंग इन द कंट्री. सो द फर्स्ट प्रॉब्लम वाज द वायलेंस between Hindus and Muslims, है ना, मुस्लिम्स और हिंदू के बीच में जो वायलेंस हो रहा था, that was the main problem. Then second, as we have seen that the future of princely states. The future of princely states was not certain. We have discussed about it, है ना. And the third problem was that India was facing so many socio-economic problems. Okay, socio-economic backwardness, we can say. ठीक है, socio-economic backwardness. These are the problems the country was facing. Okay, and now we see the next question. The first question is, what do you mean by federalism? Yeah, what is federalism? What is federalism? What is federalism? When there exists more than one level of government. And the constitution distribute or divide, we can say, divide, the constitution divide power among different levels of government. Then we call it फेडरलिज्म. इसी को हम फेडरलिज्म कहते हैं. ओके, And now the next question, why India adopted federal form of government, or why India adopted federalism? The next question is, why did India adopt federalism? Why did India adopt federalism? India adopted federalism because of diversity, as we have seen. India adopted federalism because of presence of different communities in our country. So this is all for today. Okay, and in the next class we will do some questions which are left, and then we will start a new chapter in civics only. Okay.